Let's make you a network engineer today. So today we're going to be connecting three different routers together to ensure that they have connectivity with one another. We're going to start by starting the routers. As you see, the next thing we're going to be doing is ensuring that they actually start, because this is a simulation. Then the next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting in the IP address. As you can see here, I did the UTM, that's undo terminal monitor, so that I will not be getting broadcast messages. Change the name from Huawei to router 1 just so I can easily identify each of the routers. Now we're going to be going to the interfaces. As you can see, we're using interface 1 as I showed you just now. We're going to be putting IP address on that interface in that router. We're going to be doing that for all the routers in router 1, which is just two interfaces in router 1, sorry. Then we're going to be doing that for all the other interfaces in router 2 and router 3. So we're going to be giving IP address to, if I'm not mistaken, 6 places. Yes, you can see router 1 has two IP addresses, one facing router 2, the other facing router 3. You don't know what a router is. A router is basically a network device that connects two or more networks and forward data packets between them, right? So now, as you can see, I assumed that the first router is Abuja branch, the second router is like Lagos branch, the third router is another branch. So let's assume that this is a bank, right? So a bank will connect to one router. That's how the bank will connect that router to another branch, maybe in another state, and that's how they communicate with each other. That's why even if you go to Abuja, they'll still be able to see your details even though you opened your bank in Benin. I don't know if I'm making sense. The bank's network will have things like firewall and other things for protection, so it's not so easy to access their network, but you understand like the basic knowledge of how they connect with each other using routers. This image that I'm showing you, you can see that the IP address of each line is the same, like they are of the same network, right? What I'm saying, router 1 can ping 10.0.13.2. Router 1 can also ping the network 10.0.12.0, that's like 2, you get. Router 1 cannot reach the network that is 10.0.23.2 and 10.0.22.3 because it has no direct connection to that particular network. So the question now is, how do we make router 1 to be able to communicate with that particular network and vice versa? So as you can see me doing here, it shows request timeout when I try to ping that particular network from router 1 to show you that there is no direct connection to that network. And I'm sure you are wondering what is all these things that are popping up, this whole message before the request timeout. So basically that is why I put in that undo terminal monitor at the beginning so that I can stop these messages. Fortunately, I didn't put it in this particular router. That is why you are seeing the messages there. Anyway, so I put in my loopback address, as you can see, and I configured it into the router, the loopback address for router 1, router 2, and router 3. So this is me basically putting the IP address into the loopback interface for router 1. I checked it and I saw that it showed in the configuration. Then I checked, it showed in the routing table, sorry. Then I also did the same thing for router 2 and router 3. As you can see, I always do the undo terminal monitor to start so that I don't get broadcast messages. You check again and you see that it's also in the routing table there, 10.0.1.1/32.